Good afternoon. First, I just want to say thank you to DARPA for having me here. And really, my talk, I think, is going to be mostly about why am I actually here. I don't know anything about howitzers. I don't know anything about laser-guided missile systems. So what am I doing on this stage? And really, as the chief of the Human Trafficking Unit in Manhattan District Attorney's Office, I'm here because I got lucky. I got lucky because I was approached and able to work with DARPA and their Memex project. Memex, and I would invite you all to go see their booth over there. Memex is a system that helps to get into the deep and dark web and discover, in my particular instance, the online footprint that particularly sex traffickers leave. And so I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but I'm going to start with the story. For 5 years, a pimp in Manhattan had been taking girls predominantly from the ages of 14 to 17 and prostituting them on the streets of Manhattan. He would target particular kids. He would target the the honor roll student. He would target the kid that had drug addiction problems, that had been sexually abused in her home, who was a runaway, who had been failed by a number of systems that were designed to protect that particular person. Systems like the child welfare system, the criminal justice system, the education system, to name a few. And so he would take these particular vulnerable kids and he would turn their bodies into commodities, selling them over and over again, where men, predominantly, would line up and pay for the right to rape them. And so this went on for a number of years, until one day, members of the New York City Police Department conducted an undercover operation, where they went out and looked at a website called Backpage.com. Now, Backpage is the largest online prostitution advertising website in the country. And on Backpage, you frequently find particularly young victims being prostituted to find buyers of that particular service. And so an undercover officer posing as a John made a call, and the pimp came and delivered 2 victims. One a 17-year-old victim and the other 16, who was pregnant at the time. And that's what we knew about the case when we began. We didn't know the 5-year history. We just knew that we had 2 kids, and the question was, where do we take the investigation from there? And so when you have these kind of victims, they're traumatized, they don't trust law enforcement, they're extraordinarily reluctant to cooperate, and very frequently are coached and educated not to cooperate with law enforcement. So how do we move beyond that sort of limited case that we have? And that's where data analysis, and that's where DARPA's Memex helps to enter to fill some of those gaps. So by looking at attributes that we were able to get through the investigation, attributes like phone numbers, like email addresses, like IP addresses, we're able to look at those attributes and then look at how those attributes interact with hidden content on the web. So Memex will go out and scrape and keep a historical database of online prostitution advertising. It helps to defeat traffickers' efforts to obfuscate their activities online. For example, a trafficker may have a victim hold up a phone number in a photograph so that it's not text searchable. They may continually change locations where a victim may be prostituted so that individual law enforcement or local law enforcement is not able to track that particular person. So using systems like Memex as a tool in our toolbox and coupling that information with real on-the-ground intelligence, we were able to do a few different things. One, we were able to sort of look at the historical record of the entirety of the operation, to develop leads so that we could issue subpoenas, so that we could do search warrants, and that we could go out and find victims who maybe had escaped from this trafficker previously and might be more in a position psychologically ready to cooperate and ultimately be able to testify. It allowed us to basically take all of this information and look at it in a way that we historically hadn't really been able to do as in an effective way. So, for example, historically, an analyst on one of these cases would sit down and go into a commercial search engine, throw in a phone number, and that phone number would basically pop up with those 10 blue links that we all see every time we do a Google search. But that wasn't getting at the information that was being obfuscated by the traffickers. So Memex put in different kinds of filters, looking at images that might be reused, looking at text that might be reused, and looking at all of those different attributes and getting us to other attributes that we could then continue our investigation. And so, thankfully, through all of this work and discovering extra victims, we were ultimately able to bring a case against the trafficker for the full range of time that he was actually conducting this operation, and ultimately secured a conviction after trial. So once again, and I said this in the last, but I didn't say it to begin with, I'm so incredibly humbled and grateful for being allowed to be on this stage with the other speakers who've given so much to this country, and particularly our next speaker, who's made incredible sacrifices. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to DARPA, to the people who are speaking here today, and thank you for listening to me.
Questions for John?
I did realize as I was going through, I forgot to click through.
Yeah, you did. Do that real quick.
But just to give you sort of a brief example, I'll ask my own question. Individual programs within Memex, like Dig, for example, will help to sort of help us find individual ads that we're looking for that may be hidden. So you can kind of go through and almost click on individual things that you're looking for. So you know you're looking for a certain age, a certain region, certain ethnicity when you're trying to find an individual victim. They overlay that with various analytic tools that help you see distributions of location, distributions of other hard attributes like phone numbers and emails. It provides spatial analysis and mapping, and will also provide sort of this node analysis to give you different views of what the data is out there.
Yeah, I can't remember if you said it or not, but so Memex provides a lot of tools to take different pieces of data and combine them. It's all publicly available data, right?
Yeah, so that's what's interesting about the data that's being analyzed. This is all public, open source data. I mean, this is being used, the reason why this is out there is because traffickers need to find customers for their victims. And that, by definition, can't be hidden. That has to be somewhat open and notorious. And so they may use some different tricks, but the data is all available, and this helps to bring that together.
And then, did you say how you actually did it before Memex?
A little bit. So again, it was this idea that you go through a commercial search engine and just get those blue links. It didn't provide any sort of analytics. You would miss a lot of different ads because they would change a phone number, they would change a photograph, they would change something that made it difficult for an analyst to find, or very labor intensive to find. So these tool sets were able to really greatly increase the effectiveness and speed at which an analyst is working.
Questions?
Thank you very much.
Were there other defense applications that Memex was developed for, or was it specifically for this problem?
I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that, but
I'll help.
Okay.
Wade's right over here, the PM. There he is. I'll just add that human trafficking was sort of the application that we picked early on in the program to go after. As John said, the data is sort of out there because the criminals want it advertised, and so it was an easy data set to go after. DARPA is obviously looking at how to apply these techniques and tools tools to other applications that would be interested in finding terrorists, etc. You want to add anything?
Well,
Go
I just
ahead,
said that you can go over to the booth over there and actually see some of those.
Yeah, okay, good. We're obviously working with New York City folks, law enforcement, other law enforcement agencies are also interested in these tools and techniques, as well as defense establishment for their applications. With that, John, thank you very much.